There comes a time in every gamer's life where they must choose between console and PC. A choice that may very well define generations. What one may define as the path to righteousness, others see nothing but sorrow. And thankfully, my younger brother has found sanctuary with the gaming gods. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We're gonna be building a computer today from complete scratch. I've never done this before, so if you were here looking for like a walkthrough tutorial or a step-by-step how-to, this video will give you a lot of confidence. If I have no idea what I'm doing and I can do this, you should have complete confidence in yourself to be able to do this as well.
Ignore that slam, I totally did just drop the CPU trying to get B-roll footage.
Alright, really I think that's about as much intro as we need. Let's just get straight into building this thing. I mean, it can't be that hard, right? I mean, I've done stuff like this before. I mean, God, I took my actual computer to Seattle, for God's sake, and carry-on luggage. I mean, if you are watching this as like your very first video or how to build a computer, it's really not that bad. I mean, it's kind of like just playing big boy Legos. The only difference is, you know, you're at risk of destroying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of equipment. But really, it's not that bad. I have like basically zero experience apart from my like Frankenstein botch jobs of computer things that I've done just for fun. Genuinely, this is gonna be like my very first actual computer build. So first up, motherboard. Like I said, this is my little brother's very first computer, so we have a very budget build going on. I think we spent like less than $750 in total. We got the Mag B365M mortar motherboard. It's very, very budget. Well, you'll see in a minute. This is going to be a very basic budget motherboard. It comes with some SATA cables. We got a whole bunch of instruction things, and it looks like a BIOS disk. That might be an issue, but we'll get to that later. All right, actual motherboard. There we go. As I said, very simple. We got one slot for a GPU. We got 4 DIMM slots, though, for RAM. There's space for an M.2 and pretty much everything else you're going to find on an average motherboard. I mean, I'm just going to skip ahead to the installation because I yapped for like 10 minutes about useless-ass motherboard facts in each part I was putting in. Alright, again, like I said, fairly simple stuff. We got some very standard Vulkan T-Force RAM. We have an i7-8700 and actually a fairly nice SSD. We got him a Samsung 980, 1 terabyte worth of space, so he should be completely fine. I believe if you go DIMM slots 2 and 4, that's like the best performance. As long as this thing starts on the first tray, I think we're solid. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that is totally not like the second, third, possibly even fourth time I've dropped this chip, so, you know, we're gonna... As long as this thing starts on the first tray, I think we're solid. M.2 is going in. Bam, that is set. Where are the screws? There's screws. Did I get screws with the motherboard or with the case? Definitely nothing with the motherboard, which they should be. Actually, yeah, they should be in the case, right? Because they'll... Hello? I did get a manual with the case, but I don't have, like... Hold on. Okay, yeah, accessories. 17 screws, 6 power supply screws, 8 other... I don't know, HDD screws, cable ties, what, where? I'm missing copper cylinder hex bolt things and a speaker. Hell, I didn't, what? Okay, we are off to a great start. I have none of that. Not to mention, this isn't even the case I ordered. I mean, I'm not complaining when I looked it up online. Actually, I'll just show you. Yeah, no. I went on another, like, useless 15-minute rant about the case I did order as compared to the one that I got, when in reality, that's, like, the whole moral of the story. The fact that I ordered one case and got a different one. Carrying on. But I guess I need to buy screws at the very least for this thing. I kind of can't even, like, put the motherboard in. Okay, I found this on Amazon. I'm sure some of these bolts here are going to be just fine. I'm sure some of them will work. If not, we'll make them work. It's $8. I guess I'll just buy it real quick. I guess for the time being, we'll just throw in the CPU, and then I guess we'll, like, hook up the power supply and get stuff somewhat routed in this thing. Alright, CPU's in, SSD is in, RAM is clicked into place. I don't think there's much more I could do unless I want to put the graphics card on now, but with this guy dangling, I think I'll probably just wait on that. In the meantime, power supply. Anyway, we got this 650 watt 80 plus bronze Mag A650BN power supply. This is the bad boy that's going to be powering this computer. Again, another budget option, but I mean, reading reviews and everything, this seemed fairly good along with, well, everything else that's coming along in this thing. You know, nothing in this computer is going to really, you know, like catch anyone's eye too crazily. It's not going to put up any, you know, like crazy numbers or anything like that. But like I said, for the kid's first PC, it should be completely fine. He'll be able to play like modern games for years to come. He'll be able to make any sort of content stuff he wants to. Again, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I really don't have any idea what I'm doing. This is all fun and games for me. I'm basically playing big boy Legos, just with higher stakes. What the f? Okay, I found all of the bolts and cable ties and speaker. What is this placement? Why is it tied back behind the back plate with all these wires? Hello? Like, a manual came with this thing and it was in the very front of the case, just chilling behind the tempered glass. Why wasn't this with it? Why is this back here? What kind of 2000s PlayStation 2 hiding spot is this? This is some like Indiana Jones shit. Why is this back here? All right, yeah, there it is. Everything's in here. A whole little bag. Okay, cool. Okay, back to the motherboard then, I guess. We can, I guess I'll put the power supply in real fast anyways, actually. Get on in there. Just drop right in. There you go. That's good enough. We'll figure the rest out later. And it is very dark in my room, but oh well, new camera angle. Let's get this power supply all bolted in, I guess. Alright, there we go. Did I strip and cross-thread the absolute shit out of all of these bolts? Probably, but you know what? Tight is tight. Alright, we got SSD in, CPU is in, RAM is in. All we're missing on this bad boy is the GPU and the cooler, but that'll be when we're in the computer. Which means, let's toss this bad boy in there. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, open heart surgery feels like it's happening now. Now I'm starting to feel the points where I get a little stressed out doing this whole computer building thing. We're gonna ignore the fact that I didn't realize what way the case was and I put the motherboard in sideways, and we're gonna go from there. Yeah, there we go. This is what I did from the beginning. Yeah, that's perfect. Oops. Okay. That bad boy is in there. And now, with our motherboard all set, we're gonna move on to installing our CPU cooler. This Cooler Master PL240 water cooler. Actually pretty happy about this guy. I got it on sale. There is a lot of hardware here. There is a lot of wires. I don't think I'm certified to be doing this. Okay, so I can't remember if like water cooler fans for the water blocks like have to be intake fans to like, I think they kind of do, because they have to bring in the air so that all the liquid gets cooled and then runs back down and keeps cooling your CPU. Right, instructions, save me please. What the fuck am I doing? Okay, so we've run into a little bit of a hiccup. When I was mounting the intercooler in here to make sure everything fit properly, it went in just fine. I had it lined up, was ready to throw in screws, and then I mounted the fans up front and I put them in, and I don't know if you can tell, but there is no wiggle room down here between the RAM. It's hitting the RAM, and it's also running into this heatsink down here. It's banging into that bad boy pretty good. You can see the whole freaking motherboard flexing. So I can't quite get everything to line up without things touching, well, horrendously poorly. So what I'm gonna do though is if I pull this up all the way to the top, you can see it ends up flush with the top there. This way I end up with plenty of wiggle room. I can get my fingers in between RAM, there's some space over here. It's not much, but it's more than plenty. It'll work for us. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of custom building here. We're gonna have to work with some custom modifications, start fabricating a couple things. Whoops. Ladies and gentlemen, where there is a will, there is a way, and where there are supposed to not be bolts, there are bolts because I'm the one working on this. It's working. This is staying in. It looks real funky from this end. I'll show you in a minute, but it'll work. It'll work. We'll be totally fine. All right, there we go. Intercooler's in. This bad boy doesn't wiggle. If we come back up top over here, a little bit jank. So again, we have our 3 screws down here. We've got 3 up top now where they're not supposed to be, as you can see if we get in a little closer. Got little dentage going on, nothing crazy. Maybe a little scuffing and such if the camera wants to focus. A little bit of scuffage on some of these bolts, but I mean ultimately they're in. They are solid. There's nothing crazy going on. I mean, are they supposed to be there? No, they should be down here instead. But I mean, hey, this is fine. It's what you get when, well, you get me building and working on your stuff. So it works. It's gonna function. That's all that matters.
I feel like I should also add in real quick that I just didn't put any screws on the far right side of this case. I mean, there should be 1 more in the top right and 1 more in the bottom middle to make 4 across each side, but that would have required me to punch out 2 more holes, and I quite frankly didn't want to do that. Also, I don't think computers are supposed to bend this way.
Right, this went from totally normal computer building to absolute buffoonery real fast. Let's just get the rest of the cooler on.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record player round, right round, baby.
And in terms of graphics, we're throwing an RTX 3050 in this bad boy. Now, I'm hitting you guys with a voiceover here real quick just to kind of explain myself. If I were to be building this computer right now, probably not getting a 3050. I'd be shelling out an extra $50 or so to get a 3060 with double the VRAM. I could be looking at a 40 series card since they drop with the release of the 50 series cards. Heck, for also around $50 more, you could just go buy one of the newly released 5050 cards. But at the time of building this computer, the 5050 didn't exist yet. The 50 series cards hadn't actually even released yet, so the 40 series cards hadn't yet dropped in price. I feel like getting this 3050 at under $200 was a pretty good deal. And I think it's still going to be plenty for what my little brother's doing with this computer.
That bad boy pops right in. No problem. I love when things are nice and easy like that. It's the best. And just like that, GPU is in place. That bad boy in there is solid. This computer's kind of coming together. It's looking actually pretty nice. Yeah, I'm liking this. All right, this thing is pretty much done. It just needs to be wired up and it's good to go. I doubt you guys want to see me mess with wires and all of the cable management that's gonna go on in the back of this thing, so we're just gonna go on ahead and cut to when it's done. Well, sort of done. Everything's up. I'm gonna stop you right there. Okay, we don't need to hear about the issues you ran into. That shit was boring. Just skip to when you're actually done. All right, this thing is pretty much good to go. Back is all flush. Front's looking about, well, as good as it's gonna get. Not too bad if I do say so myself. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the tempered glass back on the side, get Windows installed on this guy, and then, well, update the BIOS if needed, and we'll be gaming. Yep, seems about right. As per usual, nothing I have is where it's supposed to be. This computer still needs an operating system booted up and installed onto it. Casually, I have a Windows 10 key laying around. I use it all the time. Classically though, when I need it most, it's not here. So to the store and back I've been. We got a USB stick. I'm gonna learn how to install Windows onto this thing. I've never done this before.
We'll need a computer to create our boot drive on.
Grab a blank USB drive with a capacity of at least 8 gigabytes to host the...
Well, this is actually a lot more straightforward and easier than I thought it was going to be. I figured I'd have to do like some crazy like hacker, well not hacker, but like I figured I'd have to basically pirate something. I didn't know they were just giving me an installation for free. Well, while this bad boy installs, I guess I go play Fortnite for a little bit. Well, that seemed easy enough. Windows is installed, thing is plugged in. Let's go ahead and boot this PC and start this bad boy up into the BIOS. Okay, editing me. Go ahead and take this bad boy. It does. There we go. Now it's the right way. Also, hi, it's editing me here again at 5:20 in the morning. You may notice that we're actually operating on Windows 10 and getting that installed rather than Windows 11. The only thing I have to say on that is don't forget to actually check and make sure the parts you're ordering are compatible with the operating system you're looking to use. Okay, back to the Windows 10 install. Oh, thank God, I'm finally installing Windows. God, it has been so long, I'm tired, I'm ready to be, quite frankly, done. I've been done. The computer itself physically is built. It's good, it's ready to go. It's just this install that's taking forever. Oh, and forever it took. I really don't know what it is between me and Windows, but our relationship it's really not the best. For whatever reason, this super easy and straightforward install of Windows takes me forever. Every single time. I always run into some sort of issue. And during this install, it was this goddamn screen right here, this help us beat the robots. Windows, you need to get your shit together. This is by far the worst prove you're not a robot test I have ever come across. I'm not even gonna go into it. It's simply god awful. I did this for maybe 45 minutes over and over and over again until it just randomly guessed correct. I don't know what I did wrong. I did it the exact same way every single time, doing exactly what Windows asked me, but it always failed, and I'd have to do it again. But thankfully, it was the last real headache I had to deal with, and I made it to the desktop. Which means we'll soon be making it to gaming. Ah! Hello! Windows! You awful, gosh darn, terribly annoying operating system. I don't understand. Windows is such a simple and straightforward install, yet I somehow manage to struggle and mess something up every single time and make it so much more of a headache for myself than it needs to be. But just like that, we have computer! Microsoft Edge! Bring us to... There we go, good old Google Chrome, and let's go ahead and download OBS real quick so we can at least get some normal recording going here. And there we go! OBS recording, boom, chilling, it's not struggling, it's using a lot of CPU. Then again, I think it's because graphics-wise, I think something still needs to be set up properly. Yeah, it's reading, NVIDIA control panel's already popping up, Razer Synapse is being, well, Razer Synapse. Yeah, we don't have to mess with the control panel yet, I'll do that when we get to his actual setup and his monitors and everything. But, let's get to some gaming.
Someone go turn the power on!
Ah yes, one of the loudest launching screens in gaming history! Alright, we seem to be running a consistent 91 FPS. Nothing is changing. We're having no hitches, no performance issues. Then again, I'm not really expecting to have any. We're playing World at War. This game came out in 2005. This was simply one of my very first games ever on PC, so I figured I'd see how this one stacks up against it.
Clean up!
As you might imagine, the game is on max settings. I have everything turned up, and we're running flawlessly. I'm not seeing any... Are you serious? Now that's what I'm talking about. Alright, well that was about all we needed for that anyways. The World at War ran totally fine, albeit not under much load, but we're chilling. Our CPU's only at 38, 40 degrees Celsius. GPU's running just fine, 40 degrees Celsius as well, so far we're chilling. We'll hit it with a bit more of an intensive game though and run up some Fortnite. I mean, at this point with the computer on and running, I'm not really worried about much anymore. The only thing is just the actual cooling of this thing. Our patch job up top doesn't give me the most confidence, but so far we're working. Let's see what kind of stress the high and mighty John Fortnite puts on this bad boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, alright, we struggle a little bit to load on in. So I let it do the auto set graphic quality, and it didn't give us terrible stuff. Our shadows are at medium, some stuff's turned off. We have a far view distance, textures and everything are all at medium. Okay, we're looking fine at this point though. We're chilling at 120 FPS. A couple of little dips going on here when we look down at the rest of the map, but I mean it's the first time launching and playing this game, so I think we'll be okay. Alright, there we go. Boom, we're on the board. Okay, now that I've been on the ground for a little bit, we're kind of stabilizing. We're getting some hitching though. That though I think is mainly because I didn't optimize my recording software and everything like that before doing this. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it's simply the recording that is kind of making our Fortnite hitch and bug just a little bit. But I mean, when we're not hitching, we're doing fine. We're between like 80 and 100 FPS, which again is all that my little brother's gonna be needing for his gaming setup and everything like that, and the stuff he's gonna be doing. Not to mention, we're not even on any optimized settings or anything. Oh shoot. Whoa, I'm playing builds? Hold on, now I'm scared. I didn't realize. Alright, Fortnite gave us a little bit more of a run for our money. It upped our temps by about 10 degrees. Still, though, it's nothing concerning. I mean, we're still well within where we need to be / should be for gaming. Also, right now, instead of using OBS to record the gameplay portion of this, I'm using NVIDIA Shadowplay, and Spider-Man is running much better. I was launching this game at like 18 FPS trying to record with OBS, so I decided to just turn it off and go with NVIDIA's Shadowplay system instead, and yeah, it's taxing a whole lot less. The game is running flawlessly at 60 FPS, as you can see. And I'm pretty sure it's capped at that right now as well. Like, we don't need anything higher than 60 FPS. Right now, I'm on a 60 FPS monitor. I think my little brother's gonna have a 100 Hertz monitor for him to be playing, so again, nothing crazy. Should be completely fine.
Is this the mosh pit? Great!
Holy shit, I'm getting comboed. Hold the fuck on. Alright, when we go into an animation, we drop just a little bit. We tank down to about 40 FPS, but I am by no means running on like any small or like chill graphics. I'm running on fairly high stuff. Everything is almost maxed out for Spider-Man at the very least.
Live by the beatdown, die by the beatdown.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man as well, we're still not seeing any crazy numbers. I would say our CPU is averaging out to about 50. I think it dropped a little when I tabbed out of the game. Same with the GPU, it was closer to about 60 degrees Celsius, but that is still nothing to be worried about. I think we're running totally fine, and I think it's safe to say that my totally botched fan job is a complete success. Now, let's go ahead and look at some actual benchmarks. In terms of World at War, the game ran fine. I mean, we had it up on max quality settings, everything was turned up as high as it could go. We didn't suffer any performance issues, there were no dips, there was no hitching, there was no lag, no screen tearing. And in terms of FPS, I couldn't figure out how to uncap it, but I'm sure that if I could, we would have had pretty much unlimited FPS. Unlimited resources at our disposal. And my biggest worry really was just cooling for this computer, but as we saw in the video, it did completely fine. Now, in terms of Fortnite, I went back and played the game again without any recording so that the computer could use all of its resources to just play Fortnite, and the game ran much better. We didn't have it on max settings. I'll say it was like medium to high. I didn't really turn anything down to low, so the game still looked nice, and all the performance issues pretty much went away. I guess I did have a couple of freezing and like hitching when I was first loading into like the pre-battle royale arena, and when I would like first drop off the bus, and stuff was just trying to load in. The game was just trying to render the map. I had some of that in the very beginning of matches, but once I was on the ground and the game was being played, it was completely fine. I was averaging about 110, 120 FPS pretty much the whole time. Very rarely I was dipping down below 100. And in terms of cooling, I don't really think we ever passed 60 degrees Celsius. I mean, my current computer, when I'm hardcore gaming and it's under load, is at like 72 degrees Celsius. This computer here under load really didn't pass 60, so it's cooling pretty well. Again, that was my biggest concern with this whole thing, with the custom radiator that we mounted up to the top. And then finally we had Spider-Man. That game again, I left on complete full graphics. As you saw in the video, we had a little bit of hitching here and there, like when we were in cutscenes. Every so often when I was swinging in higher dense populations, the game might drop FPS, but the game ran fine. It wasn't losing too much performance. I mean, if you had showed me this gameplay and it was said to be on a PlayStation, I'd believe it. It looks just like console gameplay, which for my little brother is a pretty good target to aim at. And again, when I looked to see how hot the GPU and CPU and everything was running, nothing was exceeding any high temperatures. I think the GPU was at like 55 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius, and our CPU really wasn't running much hotter. So the question begs, should you be building your very first computer? Well, if you really want your own hands-on experience, you want to be able to build your own computer, look at it, and feel that sense of accomplishment, then I say yes. The computer that I built isn't even mine, but when I go over to my little brother's and I still see it, I see him playing on it, using it, it working, it's still looking nice and good, and being able to say, I built that, I put that together, it feels really good. In terms of the build quality, well, I think it's safe to say that a pre-built is probably going to be much better than, you know, you building your very first computer. Of course, it could go perfectly fine, but I mean, when I chose all these parts, I just assumed I'd be able to throw them into whatever case that I got, or, you know, order it, pretty much put it together the way that it was supposed to be put together. But that obviously didn't happen. Screws were going where they weren't supposed to be. Hammers were getting in the mix. And that little activate Windows watermark in the bottom right isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And in terms of price, well, that kind of can go either way. I mean, if you go look online and you find prices for specific things, if you find individual parts on sale, kind of like I did, yeah, you can save some money and do it yourself. But I'm gonna say about 80% of the time, you can go and find a pretty competitively priced pre-built computer that's gonna get to you looking a lot better, feeling a lot nicer, and likely being a little bit more optimized than whatever it is that you're gonna put together yourself. Now again, if you're a seasoned computer builder, you've done this before and you know much more than I do about what goes into this, yeah, sure, you can probably go build yourself a much better computer than whatever pre-built you can find. I mean, if you go online and look, this pre-built has pretty much the same budget that I had, and you're getting a Ryzen 5 5500 that's about the same in terms of CPU that I use with the i7. You're still getting 16 gigs of RAM, you're still getting a terabyte SSD, except you're also getting a 4060. Not to mention Windows 11 that, you know, isn't gonna have a watermark in the corner. So, should you be building your very first computer? Again, if you want the hands-on experience, yes, go for it. It feels great, and it's fun. But if you're just looking for raw performance, if you're just looking for value on your dollar, if you want the nice build quality, if you want it to feel professional and new, you probably should just go for the pre-built. And with that said, I think we're gonna leave the video there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please head down, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the video. I'll be honest, I spent a very long time working on this video. It's the biggest project, me personally, I've ever worked on, and any possible feedback that you guys could give me on this video would be amazing. But thank you everybody so much for watching. If you do end up building your own computer and this video helped you get to it, leave a comment down below with how it went. Send me videos, send me benchmarks, just have fun with the computer. But until next time, we'll see you in the next one.